Well, for more on what we're seeing this Black Friday, I'm joined by Hitha Herzog, Chief Research Officer for H² Research. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So talk about how different stores prepared for Black Friday this year and their strategies.
The way that retailers have prepared for Black Friday is very bifurcated here in the United States. What I mean by that is that you have the big box retailers that have lots of extra capital so that they can pour into getting private barges, private freight to make sure that the product is stocked on their shelves. And then you have the small business owners who are trying to get the product that is on the other side of, on the barges in Los Angeles, in Long Beach, and in Newark here in New York, trying to get those into the stores. And just to give you an example, a lot of these small businesses and big box too, but they have to pay a lot of overhead in order to get that into the stores. In some instances, the ports are even charging the retailers for rent. Basically storage, I should say, even though they can't get their product out of the containers. So it is really, it's a tale of two cities. On one hand, the retailers that are big and have lots of extra cash are faring well and going to be able to serve the customer. And then the mom and pop stores are really starting to struggle.
So then, given some of these extra costs they're having to absorb, then what are retailers hoping for in terms of sales, and what's likely to be the actual outcome?
When it comes to Black Friday, and especially the 3 months before the end of the year, this is the time period where retailers make the most of their money. So when they have lots of product, there's a lot of turnaround. They certainly want to capitalize on people feeling more festive. A lot of specific product that's specific to the season. They pour a lot of dollars into the marketing of these 3 months. So when they can't get the product and then they have overhead costs on top of that, when they can't afford to just ship the product into the stores, or as I had said, they have to pay the ports for storage fees. This is a lot of money. And you combine that with the scarcity of people who want to work in retail. And then you have the customer who is extremely fickle. There's a lot of options out there. It becomes very, very difficult if you don't have a complete machine behind you.
So then, as we expand on that, then you touched on some of the backlog caused by these supply chain disruptions, and then of course these labor shortages impacting holiday inventory. How are you seeing that rolling out as we get further into the holiday shopping season?
Well, for the consumer, they're scared, naturally. Oracle came out with a statistic that said 77% of consumers feel like the supply chain is going to have an impact on their ability to get gifts and how they're going to be able to give gifts and obtain gifts and just really gift giving in general here in the holiday season. So, the consumer, this is top of mind. I have never covered a retail season where the consumer is talking about supply chain. This is something that is just unprecedented. So it's on the top of minds of everyone. And I think what we're going to start seeing, especially in the next couple weeks, as we start seeing inventories get more scarce online, or we start seeing delays to get to homes and residences or different places, you're going to start seeing store traffic increase in places like malls or into standalone stores. So, but that's not going to come until towards the end of the holiday, or as we get closer to the holiday.
So then you mentioned some of these additional problems for small businesses. What can or should they be doing to try and compete and try and attract customers, being that they do have a higher hill to climb?
We've heard of this term called omnichannel retailing, and this is a term coined by the former chairman and CEO of Macy's. This is Terry Lundgren, and that basically means that there are different channels in order to be able to shop, right? And he coined this term in 2009. There are now even more channels for people to be able to shop. So if there is a small business out there, or you are in fact a small business owner, there's things called live streaming that a lot of small businesses are utilizing on Facebook, which is now called Meta, and Instagram, Twitter. There are different platforms where you can stream live, kind of like a home shopping network or a QVC, and showcase your product, and you're able to set it up so that customers can buy directly from you. In this instance, in this time period, we are seeing retailers and shop owners really take the reins and selling directly to the consumer, and these platforms are allowing them to do so. So that's one way these small businesses can fare out during this holiday season.
And obviously with live streaming, that's something that we've seen popular in China for a long time. How does all this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, how does that compare to Singles Day last month in terms of expectations?
I mean, you certainly see the two competing events just in terms of revenues that's being drawn in. With Black Friday, I still think that Singles Day is probably making more money for China and the revenues that come in through that. But now you're seeing the United States want to be a part of that as well. We were seeing some marketing around it over the last couple months. When Singles Day happened. So I can't imagine in the next couple of years, it'll also be an event here in the United States.
Well, thank you so much for your insights and happy shopping. Hitha Herzog there, Chief Research Officer at H Squared Research.